I think now at the bye week is a nice time to grade the Niners position by position like we would after a game.
Yeah, sort of like a midterm grade, although it's a little past midterms. I love it.
Okay, so let's go position by position. Do you want to start on offense or defense?
Let's start on offense, but your grades are official. Mine are just kvetching. So I would like you to go, and I'll give my opinion, but you're the official one.
Okay, fair enough. Starting with quarterback, I'm going to give all of them a C. I've said I think none of them have played well. Most of them have struggled, and all of them have had no pass protection, no run game. So I don't put it all on them, but the passing game has been no good. A lot of the weapons have been in and out. A C.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if, look, you're the boss, so I'm not arguing. I wonder if C is even a little too high.
Maybe. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't make it through more than one game without getting hurt. And even before he was hurt, he didn't play that well. Nick Mullins has not looked like he's going to take the next step and become a starter. CJ Beathard looks like he hasn't improved at all in 4 years. What would you give him?
D plus.
D plus.
Yeah,
fair.
But listen, I don't want, you're going to do like a video of this and you'll write some stuff up. I don't want to be official. You're official, but I do feel you've been a little generous.
Fair. I would give him a little bit of a break because the offensive line, in my opinion, has been worse and put him in a tough position. But D plus is fair. Running back, I'm going to say C as well, but maybe I'm being generous again. Jerick McKinnon averaged 1.8 yards per carry in the last game. They're 18th in yards per attempt as a team, but the offensive line, I think, is more the reason of that than the running backs themselves. It's hard to give the running backs anything more than a C because they're all hurt.
I agree. I think, again, when we were in school, I think me more than you, I always wanted to get A's.
Yeah.
My parents really put that on me. A C for me would have felt like a tragedy, but actually a C is an average grade. It's okay.
You more than me. I got pretty good grades too. I'm getting C's.
Okay. You know what? I remember one time.
Yeah.
When you were a freshman and you were pledging.
The one C.
Yeah. And you got a C in, what was the class?
Dinosaurs and their relatives. It was a very hard class.
Dinosaurs and their relatives.
Yes.
I'm a relative.
I got a C plus.
I said, gee, that's really, I mean, I wasn't like my parents, but I said, that's really low. And you said, Dad, what do you think is more important, having a social life at school or learning about dinosaurs and their relatives? And I thought you made a good point. So I didn't.
It was the only C I ever got from middle school, high school, and college. You remember it? Remember that C? You got that one time? Yes. It was hard. You had to look at the fossils and say, what kind of dinosaurs? It was extremely hard. I thought it was going to be easy. I like dinosaurs. I watched Jurassic Park.
Phi Beta Kappa. I was Phi Beta Kappa.
You went to Lafayette. I went to UCLA.
That's
all right.
True. Yeah, and you are smarter than I am. So
all right. Wide receivers. I'm giving him a B. I think Brandon Ayuk's been terrific. I think Kendrick Bourne's been good when he hasn't had COVID. I think Richie James Jr. has been great when he's been allowed to play. I downgrade him because Deebo Samuel's had it's been a disaster year for him. He can't stay healthy.
I agree with that grade. I think it's a fair grade.
B. Okay. Tight ends, I would say B minus. Kittle was good when he was healthy. Now he's not. And the backups, Jordan Reed, good when healthy. Ross Dwelly is always Ross Dwelly. Neither Reed or Dwelly is much of a blocker, but for what they do well. B minus.
Fine by me. And again, I just want to make one point. In a way, we are penalizing them for getting hurt. It's not a moral judgment, but no. It's just a judgment because they're not on the field. You can't give them credit if they're not on the field. So I totally am with you on that.
There's that cliche, the best ability is availability. So if that's a plus being healthy, then being hurt is not a plus. So offensive line, I'm saying D minus here. Is that even D minus, as in one step above F plus? Is D minus too? Well, I would say the right tackle has been abysmal. The right guard's been worse. The center isn't a center. The left guard's been okay, and the left tackle has been decent the last 4 or 5 games. So D minus.
I'd say F.
F. Okay, fair
May
enough.
May I say why I think it's an F?
Go for it.
I think obviously we know that they don't have a franchise quarterback. They don't. But I think the offensive line is so bad that it makes the quarterbacks look worse than
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
And because of that, without the running backs, they can't get anything going. And the reason they can't get anything going is because of the offensive line.
Yes.
I would say, Iggy, wouldn't you agree that that's the worst position group on the team?
I think special teams is in the running, but yes.
Okay. You know, I never
Yes.
think, let's put
Yes.
them away for a moment. I never think of them.
Yeah.
But aside from special teams,
Yes.
wouldn't you say that?
No question about it. Yep.
And you can't emphasize the importance of the offensive line. You can't. The whole offense depends on it.
Absolutely. They've, in a sense, the offensive line sunk the season. I mean, even before Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt week 2, he looked freaked behind that offensive line week 1. I think that was clear. The lasting image from week 1 was him doing the pirouettes in the pocket. Remember that? So that's their offensive line. They can't get anything going because of them. So I would have to agree. And the other thing is, everyone thought that the big addition this year was going from Joe Staley to Trent Williams. That hasn't been the case. Trent Williams has been good, but I think Joe Staley's his leadership, he could actually keep all the offensive linemen accountable, make sure that they were playing well and making their weight. I don't know that Trent Williams has that kind of investment in the team. So they've actually lost. I think losing Staley hurt the entire unit. He wouldn't let it be this bad.
Also, Trent Williams doesn't have tenure. He doesn't have the tenure. I've never met him, but he doesn't have the tenure that Staley had with the team. So I think it's really important to linger over the offensive line. For me, it's an F. And for me, it's one of the reasons they're 4-6.
You persuaded me, especially when I graded the quarterbacks and running backs on a curve because of the offensive line. You persuaded me. F.